A big match requires a bigger commentary team, and guys, we are ready for one of the biggest matches we have seen in quite some time. Shogun here, joined by Cole and Achieves. Lad, I was calm coming into today, and just 10 seconds before, you start to feel the atmosphere.
It was kind of funny. Right before you threw, I could feel the change from you. You're ready to go, and you should be. It's going to be a good one, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit cramped here. It's a little bit tight between us all. So when we cut to our cameras, see Achieves with broken glasses. I promise it was an accident. We're not meaning to flail our arms around crazily, but I mean, this is going to be such a good series, Shogun.
Well, let alone about the broken glasses. Something that Dignitas have been doing so well is getting those broken cars on the field. Demo after demo after demo. Heard the Des mention it as well regarding the fact that Semper have been so open to those demos. Need to avoid becoming static targets.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it was 3-0 last time these two played, but if you look back at it, Semper Esports must be questioning how on earth did we get to that point. In Game 2, they were 2-1 up with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, lost 5-2. Cassio could give them an early lead here again, not quite able to do it. Then in the overtime, I mean, there was a guilt-edge chance for Semper that they didn't take, so they really will be coming into this one thinking there's so many positives we could have taken from that last series.
Archie just wants to get rid of the danger, at least for now, but Jorius does see apparently Jack not quite able to execute what he was after, and this does give Chaussette his own opportunity. I think that Semper's best chances here is going to be in the team plays. Dignitas, one of the
there's one.
Top, there you go. Absolute top when it comes to individual mechanics. Use that to just create so much space for all of their players. Archie to himself. Has he got the first goal? Oh, what a time to get your second demo.
Oh, so close for Semper there. But I do like their approach to this game, actually. They are trying to consistently push Dignitas back. A lot of very strong touches to really make sure that they get some extra room to work with, even if they don't necessarily hang on to the ball.
Scrub can continue to follow. Does have apparently Jack as well in support. Is he going to be able to get it over to him? No, Chaussette. Just enough boost to guide the ball away. And Dignitas, usually in complete control of that mid boost, and they're setting themselves up well.
It's really even so far. Semper Esports, they're just focusing on long, hard clearances, making sure that Dignitas can't get too involved in that 50-50 game, which is where they truly excel. Semper Esports just desperate to get that ball onto their car and have some control, but there's an early shot, and you can see another long, booming clearance, which Cassio has to read.
Archie can't run onto the shot. Instead, it's over to the corner. Dignitas got plenty of options. Unfortunately, one of those options get bumped. Now we've got another open goal opportunity, but because of the recovery, weren't able to get there just in time. Jorius just scrambles for the ball, and they're going to be under pressure yet again. First real chance here for Semper to try and lock down, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah, Cassio kind of had a choice there. Did he want to go for that demo to really open up a lot of space for Semper to push forward and really put the screws to Dignitas? And he chose to try and go for it instead of committing to making sure they hung onto the ball.
You can already see how quickly Archie is approaching Dignitas when they're on defense. He's not giving them a second to get those solo plays going, which is where they're so dangerous. He absolutely is the key for Semper, but that's a better touch for Scrub Killer. Cassio comes in from the side, though, to save the day.
Dignitas have had different looks from the corner. They haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
Almost got there in time, but Cassio will open up the scoring.
Could feel that one. It was kind of strange seeing Jorius here rotate back, and he thinks he's got the time to grab the corner boost, and to make matters worse, went up the wall as well. Great recognition from Cassio that realized that if you're going to take yourself up the wall, it's going to be a lot harder to save one right at the floor.
And it all came from Cassio closing down Dignitas so quickly, then transitioning into offense. And I mean, Semper really seem like they are on each other's wavelength. Any talk of Archie trying to overcarry at this LAN is just not there to be seen on the pitch.
Drop over to Jorius. This right here is probably the biggest game changer for Semper, is how good can they be on the transition? Can they get through the brick wall that Dignitas put down in the midfield? Semper so far have done exactly what they needed to. And a miss there from apparently Jack. Dignitas not looking quite as sharp. Did obviously get yesterday off after going 3-0. While Semper have been acclimatizing to that hype chamber. Saw how much more comfortable they felt with it. They won't be too comfortable with the position they find themselves in right now. Minute 20. Still only one goal separating the two teams.
I mean, you mentioned Semper acclimatizing themselves. It was such a journey for them to get to this point. They had to battle every step of the way in their 5th game against Renegades yesterday, but they did it. So far doing what Semper have always done. Whenever questions are levied at them, all of these 3 players have a history of being unappreciated. I think of Cassio, who's had multiple top 5 finishes, but when Dignitas attack, though, they can just break through Semper at will.
Could feel it starting here. You see Archie, he gets forced back. Apparently Jack recognizing, trusting his team to come forward. forward, win the challenges, and he chased him all the way around the backboard, gave him a little tap, and made sure that Dignitas was going to have an opening to find an equalizer.
Well, the forced retreat is what causes Dignitas to get back into this. Always the danger. If you leave players on the goal line, if you leave anyone on the backboard, Dignitas are more than capable of finding you. Scrub Killer happy to receive the back pass. Might be able to get something off the backboard. Chaussette typically good enough to control that. And this time he is once again. Another good challenge. Chaussette. Had to avoid Scrub Killer. Does exactly what he's needed to. But now start to look towards those boost amounts. Chaussette was low. Archie's still low as well. They have to now focus on the boost management. Do not allow Dignitas to start to get their spots. And once again, Semper brought this up earlier on. They're doing so well, not only avoiding those situations, but transitioning out with no real hesitation or any sort of way of responding from Dignitas.
The 50-50 wins that the Dignitas are getting are just continuing to put so much pressure on Semper as we go to the end of this first game. Archie with a massive clearance away. Will he take the overtime or try and set something up? He's going solo. He doesn't have the boost to make it, though. And now Joris can set up apparently Jack, who beats Casio in the air. It's to the backboard. This should be saved. And we do go to overtime. No, not yet.
Archie got the wonder of a bounce. Couldn't do anything with it.
Now we do.
And I think the way that we all wanted this day to start off, Game 1 has got overtime.
Gotta like the approach from Semper. I mean, as we've alluded to, they really are focused on dumping the ball long, trying to get as much time to handle Dignitas as possible, but who cares about that? How about a kickoff goal? And Semper gonna take Game 1.
I'll never get bored of that roar. You can just hear the screaming when the goals go in. Semper Esports, they are coming into this one hot, and they are feeling it in Game 1.
Semper. Definitely the team that was looked beyond in this quarterfinals. 89% of you at home. Didn't want, but expected Dignitas. And that is the first game loss of the Stockholm Major for Dignitas. They now find themselves throughout this tournament 9-1.
You could see apparently Jack really struggling there at the bottom of the scoreboard as well. 112 score, only one shot, nothing else on the scoreboard, so struggling to find a way out, and that probably goes back to what we were talking about, Cole, with the great approach from Semper, long clears up field. And you'll also notice Semper throughout that Game 1, whenever they had a lot of extra time into the corners, they'd let that ball roll if they could stay with it. But anything out in the middle, it felt like they really wanted to get out there and get aggressive with it because they know that if you're leaving balls out in the middle, that's when Dignitas is going to come through and start really putting the pressure on you towards the backboard and passes out to the sides.
Shout out to Casio, though, as well, with that couple of goals to really get Semper going. An experienced head in a tournament that has so few and so many of these players never even been at any LAN, let alone an RLCS LAN. Showing that experience, carrying his team, and just waiting for Archie to really get going.
What does worry me, though, is that Dignitas were getting the ball in good positions. It just felt like mechanically they weren't quite at their best. They got a lot of time in this best of 7 to try and figure that out. They've also got the option to take even more time should they want it, as we have got timeouts in effect. Both teams get one off the backboard. Jorius, nice powerful clear from him. Josep wants to get it over to Archie. Apparently Jack instantly takes over. This is the player now that we're starting to look towards. We want him to get going. Almost found a shot to give his team 1-0.
A little panic there from Semper as well. Not quite clear on communication, and results in them just having to dump the ball off rather than make sure they held possession across the midfield line. But that's been the MO so far in the series, so probably not going to make too big of a difference for them.
What I absolutely love about Dignitas is how good their first touch is, pretty much at any given time. That was awkward from Joris. It was actually faked there in the center. Scrub Killer can make the most of it, but look at this first touch from Joris.
The danger is always around, and Dignitas so prolific at getting opponents into that position where no one can challenge and you are merely at the mercy of the mechanics.
The last time these two played, when Dignitas were really struggling to break down Semper, it's like Scrub Killer just said, look, enough Jack, enough Joris. I'm going to do this myself. And he got a monstrous dunk on Chaussette. That's what really got Dignitas going, and maybe he's done the same there. Archie's going to try and go over the top there, but Dignitas, this time, are defending it much better.
And I think it actually will be quite interesting for Semper here, because last game they started off with an early lead. It's a good attempt from Dignitas, deflected. Why save it, indeed, but they can't afford to go down 2, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Semper has to push now to try and break down Dignitas, because they've been fairly content to play a lot of defense throughout the series so far.
Jack had a little bit of time. Archie seems to have his finger just glued to the boost button throughout this series. He's pretty much where they want him to be, though. Archie is the one that caused the mistakes. This time he will provide a mistake. Apparently Jack off the backboard. Where's the follow? Jorius deciding to wait over in the midfield. No need for Dignitas to overcommit. They do have the lead. This has been the one position where Dignitas have potentially been caught, is on the transition back. Archie hit the crossbar. Where's the follow-up going to come from? Absolutely nowhere. 2 minutes down. Best opportunity so far from Semper.
Yeah, here's another one for Chaussette to the backboard. He goes, wants to bump Scrub as well. Here comes Archie, and he puts it away. Semper Esports, they couldn't quite take their first opportunity, but their second is sunk.
Really thought Dignitas was going to be able to fend this one off, but that was quite a strong touch up off the backboard. A lot of pace, and you could see Scrub Killer harried as well by the follow-through on that touch up the backboard. Couldn't really take the line he wanted to go out and try and meet it in the air. Had to deal with it as it came at him, and came too fast.
For as much as we can sometimes look towards how static Semper are defensively, Dignitas are typically the opposite way around. They do like to maintain as much car momentum as possible. So what about the timing at that point? Make sure you arrive at the defensive play at the right time. Jorius decides to just test the goalkeeper with a shot. Back out once again. Scrub Killer. He'll want a bit of help. Jorius looking to come and provide exactly that.
Actually really like Chaussette's dribble line there, because obviously Dignitas can see the passing lane out to the left side, and they're just waiting to see if he's going to commit. And Chaussette, well aware of that fact, deciding to continue that dribble straight, take as much space as possible, and see how the challenge plays out.
And where Dignitas are looking just a little bit disjointed is that Scrub Killer seems to want to be their most aggressive player in this one. He is the one going for those bumps when he's playing in front of the ball, and that to me is just leaving Jorius a little bit isolated at the back. And when that gap is left, it's leaving to chances like this of Semper Esports. Archie's going to try and continue what Cassio started. Scrub Killer eventually, though, does get the pass to apparently Jack.
Scrub does manage to just pop it over the top of the first player. Jorius crunches through the mid-air challenge. Archie, cool as you like. One air dribble undoes all of the good work that Dignitas had built up. Good weighted challenge from Cassio. I like that. Just get the ball moving. Don't commit yourself into a position where you can't immediately recover, and just let the player behind you come in and take over. Archie, he's already managed to get one. Looks to set up a second. Backboard from Dignitas. Very difficult to get anything for free, though.
I was kind of thinking more about what you said, Cole, and I think you are actually right. If you think about how Dignitas has played throughout the course of this tournament so far, they have had a lot of success whenever it's really been Scrub in that deep third position and put him in charge of getting the ball out and then letting apparently Jack and Jorius be the ones to facilitate how the offense should run.
They did similar in the third regional, did Dignitas, where they were a little bit less effective. It can happen, as we can see the shot right there from Dignitas. It's going to be an incredibly tense finish to this game. Both of these teams giving a lot of space, not closing down the center midfield too much. It seems to me, Shogi, that they're both a little bit worried about making mistakes right now.
For me, Dignitas just shot accuracy. None of it is threatening at the moment. That's the second time now they've been in a good position just to try and look for a top corner, and there's been nothing really behind it.
Again.
That one, if it was just a little bit more into Chaussette's car, they could potentially have got a bad bounce off it. Now 30 seconds left. Still, both teams have got one goal each.
Oh, wow.
Jorius back to Scrub. Where's it gonna go? Finally in.
The couple of challenges that needed to go just right for Dignitas. That's not an easy pass. That's back behind Jorius. He has to go back and get that one and stick it right on the line for Scrub, who just muscles off the defender. What a play.
Yeah, muscles is the right word. The fact that after his glorious first touch, he also just had the peace of mind to get that little bump, it's going to make it so difficult for Semper now.
Cassio can't get the follow. Instead, it's back over to Jorius. And Dignitas' ability to air dribble, to just send one player and take the time is usually helpful. What's even more helpful is getting that 2-goal lead. Semper, when they needed to step up in the clutch, they were not able to do so, and they've given the game to Dignitas.
Yeah, it's like miscommunication there between Chaussette and Archie, trying to rush the ball out, understandably, with 10 seconds left, needing a goal. Not able to do it there, and Dignitas make the most of it.
Now, the big telling thing from me here, gentlemen, is that second goal from Dignitas, because they are obviously very young players, but there were so many opportunities there for them to just go for the shot. And I think that's what Semper would have liked them to do, because then you just get the ball to bounce away. Instead, oh, we're going to shoot this. Now we're not. Oh, we're going to shoot this. Now we're not. And eventually, it just had Semper so discombobulated where they had nobody left. We've just kept jumping, hoping you were going to shoot at us.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, I mean, apparently Jack, slight improvement here. 188 and only one goal, but I'm surprised to see Dignitas, generally across the board in Game 2, like you guys were talking about, struggle with the quality opportunities on net. And the fact that they got it done in essentially 2-on-1 here is quite something.
We have to remember, though, that as Shogun mentioned earlier, they did have yesterday off. They are coming into this one just that little bit colder than Semper Esports would be, and it does take time to get yourself back into that situation. I mean, you can see Cassio there. I mean, he's owning the place. He's meditating in his head, just keeping himself calm, completely at one with the situation he is in, using all the experience that he has. Dignitas, though, Shogun, they did well to get back into that zone and that danger that we know they can have.
They can be more dangerous, and that's kind of where you got to keep looking at it. Dignitas, for me, that was still, great positions to be in, and the shots just weren't quite there. But as you mentioned, Cole, we did see Semper putting the reps in over on the field yesterday. Scrub Killer, as he mentioned to us, he said he was over at the gym. He was putting reps in over there. Now he's going to maybe try and add a goal to his team's tally. Josette, well, he's going to need about 10 car lengths more if he wants to try and reach that pass.
And I do like this initial formation from Dignitas. You see it is apparently Jack and Jorius putting the pressure on, and he's going to turn that in? You gotta be joking.
It was a great save initially, but eventually the ball just bundled its way home. It was Cassio on the backboard. Look how close to this he gets. He gets the read on Jorius. It's unfortunate. When you get that close to the ball and it still goes in, you have to be thinking you're a little bit unfortunate.
I thought at first he dunked him.
Dignitas continuing to build up momentum. It's going to be a good spot for them to be in as well. I feel like Dignitas' kickoffs as well have started to develop. They're figuring out what Semper like to do, who typically don't like to adjust it too much. Jorius just transitions nice and easily.
Oh, man.
And that's a very difficult ball to play. Yes, it's slow, but you usually can't generate too much power.
Dignitas are playing so much further forward now already. I mean, not only has the pace increased, the amount of boost consumption they're going through has increased as well. And that third man, especially Jorius, who was pretty far back on Forbidden Temple, seems to be a lot more keen to get involved in the play. You can see now, here's Jorius. He's had to track back, and he does get an easy save.
And that's something that we used to associate with BDS when they were in their absolute peak, how much more aggressive they got.
Look at that dunk.
Smooth. Unfortunately lost the ball. But Dignitas right now, struggling so far as Semper finally kind of getting stuck in here in the game 3 to try and reset some pressure.
Cassio, well aware of the potential touch from his teammate, was not aware of Scrub Killer hunting him down. Oh, that's an interception! Scrub Killer! Well, spoke about clairvoyance from the other day. He seemed to have the peace of mind to know that that was going to happen.
He's the old man in the team nowadays, Scrub Killer Shogun, and he saw that danger happening. A slight miscommunication from Dignitas. Scrub Killer, just exactly where he needed to be at the time he needed to be there. He's having such a good performance. Semper Esports, though, still playing well in this one. Archie onto the backboard. Here comes Jorius. To the floor he goes. Apparently Jack the 50-50. It looks like it's... Oh, another demo comes in. Oh, no, it's Chaussette on apparently Jack this time. I thought that was another Dignitas demo. But Dignitas are doing really well to keep this pressure on Semper Esports now until that touch from Cassio.
Cassio with Chaussette in support. Back over to apparently Jack. One player's missed. This is a chance to set up across the goal line. And nobody from Dignitas willing to chase that down. Dignitas very different in aggression when they're a goal up compared to when it's a tied game.
Oh, big pre-jump there from Scrub. Apparently Jack also caught forward at the midfield line. Archie may have something here with a bit of a follow-up.
Semper have not seen this orange side of the field too much, but they might make the most of it. Josette with Archie.
Lovely.
Can he get it to the far side? There's Cassio! What a play by Semper!
It's all from this first pass right here. Look at Archie just lingering, waiting. Chaussette knows where he is. Cassio's already up.
Jeez.
That's his third goal of the series so far. He is absolutely feeling it, but what a team play that was.
Still not free either. I mean, that ball did need to be placed. There were people in net ready for that one to come at him, but picture perfect for Cassio. What a shot.
Full speed as well. Every single pass was just rocketing off their cars.
As soon as we saw the first ball played, I think we all knew what was going to happen. The question was basically, can Semper finish this off? Cassio was not asking that question at all. He had nothing but answers. Jorius now. I just find a bit of space. Scrub Killer up in the spot. We have apparently Jack waiting for his opportunity. There he is.
Ooh.
Cassio once again has come online. Oh, Jorius, you can't do that to them!
It's all set up from the takeoff on the backboard here from Semper. Joreous definitely manipulating Chaussette, and a rough challenge for him. And at that point, when he's right on top of you on the goal line, he's coming in from above you. He's going to drive it into you all the way.
I mean, a goal like that, though, you can piece together how we got to that point all you like, but to an extent, you just have to say, Joreous,
well done.
Wow, that was absolutely brilliant. One of the best 1v1 players in the world to this day. You can see how every time Dignitas get possession of the ball, Semper Esports just look terrified.
And it just changes the way you position defensively on Semper all the time, because you have to figure out, is this going to be a power shot or is this going to be the individual pop-up and then he's going to try and follow it? Question you've always have to be answering. Archie, another good shot from him. Joreous keeps the ball away, double commit, but they should be fine. At least for the time being. Actually, Archie off the backboard. Dignitas requiring those swift 1v1 positions, as that was
my goodness.
maybe a little bit more dangerous than it should have been, Semper.
It was still a really good touch though from Chaussette. So easy to score an own goal there. Could be another chance for Dignitas. Joreous coming in to attack Cassio. Cassio needs to just slow this ball down for a second, allow his team to come forward to help him out. Apparently Jack can only tee up Archie. Joreous is a little bit pinned back, but as ever, a great first touch means that he can get a clean 50-50 into the center, but Chaussette redirects, but just wide.
Apparently Jack on the goal line there, he's terrified. He's like, I didn't think that touch was even possible. Just threw the backflip out, hoping he'd make it.
Off the backboard, Archie, he would have been very happy to see that middle boost turn up. Instead, he cannot turn around and continue the play. Final few seconds ticking away in game 3. Dignitas on the verge of having half the job done. Cassio up early. Archie drops to Chaussette. Chaussette just a little bit narrow for me. Meant that the pass angle was always going to be tough. Now a chance to add yet another one to the goal tally. Dignitas scoring late last time around. This time they're going to be up against it. Cassio one-on-one and no flick coming out. But still an opportunity around. Well played by Joreous. Nobody on that side of the field. And Dignitas have got the game.
Well done there from Dignitas, to be honest. You did have to fend off quite a few, if not, 100% scoreable for Semper. A lot of decent pressure applied through the shooting from them. I mean, that's what, 13 shots for Semper, so Dignitas having to make sure that they're still locked in. And that was not an easy game to fend them off.
Yeah, I mean, Semper did absolutely fine defensively there. It all came down, to that one chance from Joreous that, in the form he's in the form that he's been in since the start of RLCS 21-22, RLCSX was his entry. And now this season is looking like his pièce de résistance, just a beautiful player. You cannot give him any time on the ball at all. And that's meaning that sometimes Semper just have to rush their defending.
For Jack right now, again, he's bottom of the leaderboard over here. We are seeing it. It seems to be a bit of like a two-man rotation that we're seeing. Joreous and Scrubkiller very tight to one another, and it's kind of like a pendulum. Jack's just got to hold that midfield, buy his team a little bit of time, and wait for them to come back. And it's been maybe we haven't seen what Jack is fully capable of, but in terms of what you need from a teammate, he is there doing what you need. It's just
He really hasn't had to do much.
Role.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the last game, like we said, he had 188 score, and 100 of that came from the goal, and then another 100 came from 4 shots. Or, sorry, 75. I don't know how many you get for shots anymore these days.
I'm not here to do maths. I'm here to watch Rocket.
Yeah,
you went very specific and brave there.
I was trying to think about how many points you get for a shot, and I was like, wait, it's not 25 because you have another 100, and it's just like, you must get less for now. And it's just, either way. I mean, apparently Jack, like you said, fairly inglorious, but he's in the rotation, and he's going to pull off a save on the goal line at the start of game 4.
Oh, what a block. Follow up from Cassio. Tried to read the mind of apparently Jack. Plays it over to Joreous. Goes underneath. Now's the sort of time that you start to look towards the furthest back player of Dignitas. How aggressive do they want to be? How confident do they feel?
I just adore that passing play out there. Scrubkiller with a reverse pass to his teammates and the little touch down to them, and that's what started this. Look how much control they suddenly have. That pass from Scrub to apparently Jack turned more into a pass to himself. Achieves, you look outraged at how that play turned out.
I'm just so confused because Semper had a big miscommunication that allowed Dignitas to have the pressure, and then Dignitas just fails to execute touching the ball in the corner to keep the pressure going and let Semper off the hook. And I'm just like, wait, guys, it's game 4. We've had our 15 minutes of warm-up, and I'm just surprised.
They're not quite at their brilliant best at Dignitas, but still they are winning. Still they're finding these solo plays. Chaussette has taken out the game there by apparently Jack, who gets another touch. Scrubkiller can shoot long. Chaussette should save it. But just look at how many clean touches Dignitas are getting in the Semper half of the pitch.
It's not often that we can kind of theorize how a match is going to go and sort of see it go almost exactly that way, but Semper have been very much pushed back to their own back line. And the goals they're scoring have required all 3 players. Cassio has got some support with him. Archie shot. Double commit. Still required to keep it away, but thankfully for Dignitas, they did push it into a bit more of a lukewarm danger zone. And taking their time. Dignitas. A couple of heart-in-mouth moments, but they know exactly what they're doing. Nice and calm.
Oh, man. Challenge game.
Yes, the first real time Semper have fully taken control. Now they got their opportunity, and Semper were not going to let that go to waste.
I mean, they were just absolutely stuffing Dignitas at the midfield line as they were trying to clear it 2-3 times in a row, and they got a couple of boost steals in one corner as well, and that was making it real hard for Dignitas to break out there, and they convert a sustained push. Nice job.
There were periods in that first passage of play where it did look like Dignitas were just going to score any moment. Semper were too deep, but slowly but surely, they moved their way forwards, and in the end, they had a lot of aggression and power before that goal. So it's really good play from Semper of how deep they've dug.
Scrub Killer wants the backboard. Chaussette seems to be the one that's always back when those questions are asked, and he's always more than capable of answering them. Apparently Jack dropped back down. Scrub with Jack just across. He's also got other options. Archie with the wherewithal just to stay back, knowing that the danger could be lurking. Apparently Jack, he can follow that, and he can score that!
You knew it was coming. As soon as you see this hard kick off the side, it was always going to be a race, and that race always has to favor Dignitas. I mean, apparently Jack's so quick on that read, and it was barely in time and turned in a gorgeous goal.
That pace just jump up for me, Cole, was like a situation where you're going to have a 100-meter race, but your opponent gets to select when you start.
Yeah, Jack was already there. He'd already seen what was coming. One of the best readers of the ball in the game, teeing himself up for that one. You can see him, again, just getting in the way of everything Semper are doing. And this is my favorite sort of apparently Jack. Chasing, intercepting, interrupting, but that's better. There's a good pass again from Semper. It's not actually a good pass because it was behind Archie.
I'm okay with the way that Archie played it, though. Rather than trying to just scramble for a play, the interception was certainly being looked for. Now Dignitas, unhappy with how they conceded earlier, look to do the exact same off the post. Jorius dove in, and Cassio won't get an easier shot.
Got away with it, Cole.
Yeah, you won't see too many free goals given away by Dignitas, normally so disciplined, especially Jorius, but not on that occasion. And that was a lovely pass out from Archie to Cassio.
Think of the emotions that Cassio just went through there, from diving for the ball and missing it to, oh, hey, thanks very much, I'll take
I've
that.
allowed a goal to I'm scoring a goal. It's got to be at least a relieved feeling.
Apparently Jack has got Jorius. So one thing I think Dignitas are missing right now is the follow-up to these individual plays.
Oh, jeez.
To the far side. You see through the smoke screen. Apparently Jack, with plenty of time, didn't have any boost. So he chose just to get some jumps and boost out of the opponents. Another pinch. Dignitas mechanically looking better. Scrub Killer to Jack. Too close, though, to the blue car.
Yeah, the attack will continue, though, I think. Looked like Scrub Killer could have put that one into the center, but Dignitas were already rotating back. But these booming clears they're getting. Every time Semper Esports think they're clear, they're not. Jorius shoots. It's just wide. Archie takes the lead over Chaussette there. Scrub Killer got in the way of them intercepting each other to really keep this attack going. It must be a goal for Jorius. Chaussette's given up on the play. Of course he has. It is a goal.
Achieves, please find me a way that this is not Chaussette's fault. Please? Oh, no, there isn't.
I can't, unfortunately. That's
Just make one up.
Even Jack shaking his head.
Chaussette blinked as he started heading for that ball, and just the wrong time.
So it's production's fault. The light's got in his eyes. Yeah, don't worry, guys. Not Chaussette's fault.
The big Rocket League tip of the day. Never blink.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking that's
I'm
such a
still
rough one.
flabbergasted.
It's a rough one to allow. I mean, 34 seconds, you're about to equalize a series, and now you put yourself in a real tough spot where if you find yourself ending up losing this game because of a simple mistake like that, it's going to sting.
Apparently Jack's going to boom that one forward. Just try and double Dignitas' lead to the center. The ball may fall. Jorius is there. Really wanted to kill this one now. That's a good attack from Archie. Cassio is now up. Can he do anything with it? Scrub to the ceiling. It's another brilliant piece of defending from Scrub Killer. Not just to get the touch. And look at them swirling their way back into the Semper half. Scrub Killer to apparently Jack is going to kill this one. Maybe after
they
one
gave
more
it to
touch.
Oh,
Thought we went into overtime.
Well, You can't get much closer than that. Dignitas, a goal away, achieved, almost on his knees after that one.
I think Semper just totally lost track of where Dignitas was there. I think they saw that hard touch out across the middle, and they're like, no one's there. And then boom, the ball's right over their shoulder, and they're lucky that wasn't in.
Oh, it's close again. Jorius to the air, 50-50. Scrubkiller just taking his time round the corner. Up against Archie. Look how deep Jorius is. Apparently Jack knows it, so takes that 100 boost. Got apparently Jack below him as Jorius. Gets the flip reset, gets the shot maybe to the backboard, but cleared away by Casio.
Still pressure from Dignitas. Semper will see this as a game thrown away, if anything. The good news is Rocket League players have short-term memories as long as you go on to win after the mistake. Yeah. This could be the vibe setter. Scrub misses it, thankfully. He's got very good support in the form of Jack and another interception. This is not the first from Semper. They're starting to dial into the Dignitas positioning. They've got an opportunity. Drops to Casu. He moved a bit earlier, had the hesitation, cannot run onto the shot. Still pressure for Semper.
Jorius is going to let this one run along. He's got the 100 boost up against Chaussette to the backboard. It's still Semper pressure. Scrubkiller desperately trying to get rid of this ball. Then there's a miss. That's just going to let them recover a bit in defense. Although Archie will come forward with the flip reset and the dunk over the top. Scrubkiller 100 boost, but charged down again by Chaussette. Apparently Jack down into the center. Jorius sends it out wide, but for once there's no one there except himself on that Dignitas transition.
And very reminiscent of that first goal here from Semper in this game. The challenge game really starting to come online for them in the overtime. Unfortunately this time, Dignitas managing to find a way to keep him out of the net and finally equalize a little bit of pressure here.
But as time goes on, Semper have managed to lay claim to more territory. Dignitas just want to get this done with. Archie, after the demo, Scrubkiller helps, but no amount of help was enough to stop Archie from taking the overtime win.
So near yet so far. There was the dive across after the demo. Brilliant reflexes from Scrubkiller, but Archie just did what he had to do, followed it home, and Semper Esports get their second game of the series.
And you have to say they should have won this one in regulation, of course. But as you said, Shogun, short-term memory, it doesn't matter. As long as you win, move on. Everyone, I think, really did play a great game here. Even Casio at the bottom of the scoreboard, 1 goal, 4 shots. 4 shots. I do think that, I mean, he really was putting a lot of pressure with those challenges in the midfield line. So not really lighting up the score column, but the intangibles and keeping the pressure going for Semper in a couple of real nice situations that developed for him.
It's a thing in the best of 7. I thought that in this extended sort of series, Dignitas would be able to pull away, but it's Semper that just seems to be clawing Dignitas back whenever they're threatening just to pull away and not be able to be brought back.
Well, Dignitas, for me, games 2 and 3, they started to settle into their play style. The real question coming out of those games was, can Semper answer to that? Do they have another idea as to how to deal with Dignitas? They're getting there, and I feel like a lot of it is just doing with their ability to read the game, because Dignitas are trying things. Semper are cutting that out right in the midway point.
Yeah, they whenever they do get that big steal, they read one of those Dignitas passes, they cut that one down, they start putting the pressure on, and that's when things start to flow in their favor. You're absolutely right. And the question for me is, can they turn those possessions? Because you haven't seen it very often them have a different look than they get the ball stuck in the corner and they get the quick pass out into the middle. And that's been most of their opportunities on net. And I like you said, that's one way to do it, but I think they need a little bit more if they want to consistently break down Dignitas.
I mean, even just there, though, for Dignitas, they were a little bit too quick for themselves there. Jorius, I think it was, got just 1 touch too many that apparently Jack wasn't expecting. And when they've struggled throughout the season, it's because the mechanics aren't quite working out. You know, do they have that plan B? Can they grind out victories? If anybody's going to be able to grind out a victory, it is going to be Semper Esports. You know, people accuse them of being dull, but what they're actually brilliant at is scoring more goals than their opponents in these dead-even games. So this is playing straight into Semper Esports' hands right now.
We want to talk about other adjustments. Scrub actually to Jorius.
Oh, yeah.
Infield pass. Well, no adjustment needed. That has been relevant for so long. And the reason why is because it's so effective.
Oh, it's not even fair. I mean, Scrub takes that wide cut out to the left because he's got all the time in the world before someone's going to challenge him. And he just waits until he knows that any touch out to his teammate is going to give him a great look at the net. That's a beautiful setup from Scrub.
Those are the sorts of moments as well that can just snap Dignitas back into life, but now they've already got some more defending to do. Another infield pass. Archie shoots it. Archie maybe should have scored. He gets another chance.
Oh,
he will score this time. Semper Esports equalize straight away.
Well, Casio got his second chance earlier on. Why shouldn't Archie get his second opportunity? First one too high, but I do quite like it as well because it did leave the defender utterly stranded for the demo. And Semper, I almost want to say this actually, are more willing to commit the entire house to a play, send all three, than Dignitas have been.
Well, there's something for that, though, because a lot of, like you were talking about, they've had a lot of decent shots on net, and it is scaring Dignitas. You've said it more than a couple times, Shogun, with the double commits on defense. They are worried about some of the shot placement from Semper, and that is really pulling them out of position. And that even that last goal, I mean, Scrub double committed, and as he landed, because he couldn't adjust because he double committed, he got demoed and left the net open.
Shot, although Archie more than strong enough to keep that away, and Casio might have this. Oh, off the post. Archie couldn't find contact on the ball. Now apparently Jack got a chance to try and break away. He'll be a passing option, but Jorius couldn't get up there in time. Instead, it's Casio yet another opportunity, and Jack, good enough first touch means he can control it afterwards, look to escape. But Semper, unrelenting at the moment, have managed to lock Dignitas down temporarily.
They're locked, but brilliant defending so far. First from Jorius going into his own goal, and now from Jorius on the backboard, charging that ball down, setting up a counter. What a first touch that almost was from apparently Jack. Just now for a second, though, Dignitas can hit the ball cleanly, try and tee each other up using that angled pass and the pre-jump. It's end-to-end stuff right now. Semper Esports have Archie around the backboard. Apparently Jack closing it, and it does seem, as you say, Shogun, that it's Semper that are making all the plays. If Dignitas do come forward, it's just for a second or two, and then Semper come right on back.
What will worry you, though, is the fact that Dignitas, on any challenge, can only win it, but win it with authority. Shot set with the follow. What a save by Brady Jack, but Casio merely needs contact on the ball, and contact on the ball is what he gets.
Keep getting those boost steals, and it's making it so tough. This time it's Dignitas overextending out of the pitch to try and find some boost to work with. They have to rotate back in, as again, Shawset's able to win another challenge right in front of the net. Just sticks it there and has Casio come through and finish the job for him.
The belief they have in each other right now, though, Semper, they are still playing so far up that pitch, even in this, the high-pressure situations, backing each other up. If Dignitas make a save, it has to be a perfect save. It has to be a pass out. Anything that rolls along the goal line is going to be put away.
You mentioned pressure there, Cole. Dignitas felt no pressure getting through to the quarterfinals. And if it stays like this, they are going to be from there to the most pressure possible up against 2 match points unless they can get themselves a goal off the crossbar. There's Casio, who is always around to finish it.
More brilliant following up there from Semper Esports. The original pass into the center from Archie should have been put away from Shawset. Apparently Jack did his best to put him off. It was almost enough, but there was Casio. He's been utterly heroic in this series.
Yeah, he's been a brilliant follow-through guy for Semper in this one, and you gotta give credit to where Semper digging the ball into that corner. I mean, watching Jorius, he was the only one who could have prevented that. And imagining that line on the ball over his shoulder and you're unable to really clearly define where it's going to bounce, I mean, Dignitas has a lot to handle.
Now, though, we are going to see something much different from Dignitas. All-out attack from them for the last minute and 30 seconds. Semper Esports have been the main aggressors. Will they be able to handle the Dignitas squeeze? There's Scrub Killer to the backboard. It's shot, but Archie saves it into the center.
And now you're facing 3 of the best goal line defenders in the RLCS in the form of Semper, and you've got to get 2 goals past them in just over a minute. Scrub Killer gets rid of one of those outstanding defenders. Apparently Jack almost underneath. Would have loved to found a pinch with the floor. Unable to do so. Still good pressure for Dignitas. Where is the follow-up going to be? This is an opportunity to escape. And as we've seen from Semper in the last few games, Semper do not leave opportunities on the table.
They also don't give free goals away as well, but the question is,
I love it.
Too deeply. Scrub Killer rolling around the ball. Apparently Jack comes in. Dignitas have a chance.
You want something special to step up in this opportunity, and apparently Jack got the most special of passes passed over to him. 1 goal game, 53 seconds on the clock.
We've said before that Scrub Killer truly believes he is playing with the best 2 players in the world. He knew Jack would get that touch. He knew the chance would be there. Semper Esports, defense versus attack. Here is Jack again. He bundles his way through. Shawset clears it towards Jorius.
Casio wants to get rid. He's unable to do so. Jorius, with apparently Jack up there with him. Scrub, third man position, just has to buy a bit of time. Time that he does not want to see trickle away. But as you mentioned there, Cole, getting rid of the ball is another 10 seconds off the clock at least.
Scrub towards Casio, desperate to just get this ball forward at Dignitas. Joreuz needs the pinch, it's not quite there. More seconds gone from Archie. He is so happy to slow this ball down. Look at all the seconds he's wasting. He's also got a pass out of it, almost. But Casio's overcommitted. She'll set towards the corner. Into the center is Joreuz again. There must be a pass. Someone must take a touch, but no one has. Was that the moment? Will this ball go in and kill it? No.
Joreuz dunked on by Chaussette, and that will end it. Dignitas went looking for that last goal, but they were not able to do so. Achieves, I heard you mention that there was a double commit towards the end. You saw all three players down that left-hand side. There was no whip to Dignitas as they went looking for that last goal.
And that's exactly why they allowed that long clear back the other way. And your only hope was to have Joreuz just catch it nice and cleanly at 0 seconds and hope he doesn't get out challenged. And I can't really understand the idea of double commit with a teammate in the corner, and I'm also going to go into the corner. I can't make sense of it other than we just need to try and get something done. And you know, if you feel like you're going to be able to make a good read on a play, then that's what you end up doing. Unfortunately, here for Dignitas, it cost them big time, and now they're on the verge of elimination after looking nigh unbeatable throughout this tournament.
Need to note as well is the fact that Dignitas did not bring a coach with them. They brought content manager. Got to speak to him the other day. He was absolutely phenomenal. But right now, they need to be speaking to that man right in the middle. Apparently, Jack has kind of assumed the player coach role. He'll be the one that they're listening to.
For anyone wondering what's going on right now, this is our first tactical timeout of the full major. In these best-of-7 matches, when things are going against you, when you're up against the ropes, each team has the ability once per series to talk things through, take that extra minute. And we've seen throughout the season, tactical timeouts have completely pivoted massive series.
Yeah, they've absolutely been efficient. And I always find it interesting between the strategy of, do you want to take your timeout early? Do you want to take it when you're about to lose and you've only got one more life? And I think, you know, each team has their own thoughts on that. And Dignitas taking the time to realize, okay, it's been 2 games in a row where we really haven't got much done and been driving the offense, and we need to take an extra moment here to think this one through a little more clearly.
You'll see a bunch of different ways that this is treated as well. BDS barely ever use their timeouts. I think that we're in, less than a 5 fingers that you'd count for every single one of them. But on the other side, Endpoint, they love a timeout. We'll get hope. I know you, Cole, maybe don't want to see Endpoint taking a timeout because that might mean that they're in a bit of a rough spot. But Endpoint, they love to just stand up, take a walk around. I'd expect to see them just do a lap around the entire hype chamber.
I'm always happy to see the Endpoint team doing star jumps and press-ups and stuff during a series of Rocket League. But I mean, yeah, you're completely right. It's not for everybody. NRG said on an interview, Garrett, he said that they just do not do it straight up. But on that occasion, Dignitas felt that something had to change in the tactics of the game. Semper Esports are 1 game away from putting them out.
Almost every single bracket I saw, if it was, maybe not completely E or NA bias, usually had Dignitas.
I think even the most NA bias would have had Dignitas winning this one, It's EU v EU.
And once again, we look towards the earlier fan vote, 89% expecting Dignitas. Why wouldn't you? After how dominant they were, sweeping their way through the Swiss stage. But right now, they are facing elimination.
And one thing I absolutely love about the Semper Esports performance is that we're not here saying, wow, Archie, hasn't he been brilliant? 1v3ing Dignitas. No, this has been a true team performance. Their best performer, probably Casio of all people, and here they go again.
And Casio's entire job to get that sort of plaudit is just be smart in the third man. He has not been outplaying Dignitas. He's been waiting for his chances, just vying up the risks and always grabbing his team the rewards. Archie looking the far side there. Chaussette looks for the shot, and Joreuz, just with the tip of the car, gets the save.
Gosh, it's actually bonkers to me that there's, even this many years into Rocket League, you can take a hard shot from the midfield line, and it still puts that much pressure from that far away. You hit it clean, and you hit it in the right spot, it can always make a defense look shaky.
I mean, it has been making Dignitas look shaky as they come onto the backboard. Archie air dribbles it away well, but it is these quick-fire shots that Dignitas are clearing, but not quite well enough. That one's onto the crossbar. Do they have somebody following up as usual? Not quite on that occasion, but another early chance for Semper.
Cassio can look for a penalty jack if he wants to. It's actually going to do exactly
Brilliant
that.
closing.
Back into the middle, but for the first time, Semper, if the contact was made, they would have been the ones caught too far forwards. Thankfully for them, nobody was able to make contact. Archie passing the ball over to himself. Even trying to look for apparently Jack, who's there first. Chaussette with the shot. No real zest on that one, though.
That is disappointing to me, though. Archie had a perfect opportunity to turn into the Dignitas goal and take out that keeper, which would have made that shot so simple. Opted against it. They still do have some attacking. Apparently Jack, a great save at the near post. Jorius punches it away, but only as far as Archie to the backboard he goes. Cassio's taken out the game, but now Chaussette, he's missed it. It might work out really well. Archie shoots. Apparently
Jeez.
Jack more defending, and the pass doesn't work out.
Oh, and
Could
it's
this
in.
one be going all the way in? I think it's hitting the post.
oh!
Who's following up? Cassio.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, Cassio's going to follow up over on either side of the field. Offense, defense, exactly where he needed to be. But Dignitas, how shaky of a start was that? And they've got away with it.
And there's something to be said, like you were talking about. I mean, yes, shaky, but it's purely because I do think Semper really are placing the ball perfectly. It is always saying to Dignitas, you need to go as far as possible with this one and make the best touch possible to stay alive on defense. I really do think Semper really are just placing the ball incredibly well, combined with a strong challenge game.
And you even saw right there, the ball off the backboard. If it was the other side of the field, you can almost guarantee that Cassio would have been around. Instead, Dignitas kind of hoping for the 1v3 outplay. Never really available to help each other with the scoring chances. Here's Jack off the backboard. Will Scrub want to move? Realizing that Archie would have had him beat.
It's like they're just waiting for a Semper Esports mistake right now, and Semper Esports, this is not the team that you want to wait to make a mistake. Solidity is their foundation. They can do this all day long. Dignitas absolutely have the firepower to beat them, but they have to do more like this, moving forward as a duo or even as a trio. Apparently Jack comes in. He's got Scrubkiller next to him, but Scrubkiller shoots. Oh,
That's a
she gets in the
2v1.
way.
Chaussette. Oh, he missed Jorius, who avoids the first attempt at a demo. Big chance from Semper on the counterattack. Now it's end-to-end gameplay. Apparently Jack can't find a hit of his own. But for now, Archie is gone. Good challenge from
Huge
Jorius.
demo.
There's Scrub, bottom corner. Scrappy from both teams, but it's Dignitas who've got the crucial goal.
And it was Scrubkiller. We said right at the start of the series that he has been putting away so many shots for Dignitas, but it all came from the massive demo on Archie. Completely opened up that defense. 57 seconds left, or we are going to be entering a Game 7. Maybe we certainly are. There's Jorius to double up straight away.
Do you hear that? It's the crowd of Champions Field waiting to have some entertainment of their own. Dignitas really up against it to start this game, but they've weathered the storm and might even go from the rainy fields of Neo Tokyo over to the pristine pitch of Champions Field. An opportunity for Archie. It's going to go towards the backboard. Chaussette can't get the tap down, but Cassio looks to follow, and Chaussette desperate not to touch that one.
He was just tilting his car back, not wanting to pinch it back towards his own goal, but they do need this ball. Jorius flips it over the top of Cassio. Chaussette's going to come in against Jorius. They're all in each other's way. Nobody knows where this ball's ending
Might
up.
score that.
Somehow it falls to Scrubkiller, who can kill it, but Cassio saves on the backboard, at least for now. Archie can then take control.
Archie unable to get past apparently Jack. Cassio back over to Archie, but that's straight over to Scrub, who leaves it for Jorius. Great idea, Jorius. Just lifts it over the top. And as the seconds tick away, this has to be a goal-scoring chance. They need time on the clock. And that touch from Jorius should do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for this. Our first quarterfinal is going to Champions Field.
And call me crazy going into Game 7. I actually do not want either team to change anything. I think Semper genuinely had an excellent approach in this one, and Dignitas really just did play phenomenal defense to keep themselves in it.
The Chiefs, I completely agree with you, but allow me to be a little bit dramatic for just a second, because whilst both teams shouldn't change anything, Game 7 at this level changes you a lot of the times. This is the pressure cooker. This is what both of these teams have been waiting for 2 years. An opportunity to represent Europe in the semi-finals.
Just looking at these players now, thinking how much communication is there going to be? Scrubkiller is looking pretty stoic, pretty quiet. Apparently Jack, the team captain, the brains behind the operation, not currently saying too much for Dignitas. It's like they're taking a huge breath before the chaos.
There's a smile. There we go.
We've got cheeky eyebrows. Okay, I take it all back. No deep breaths here. They're just waiting. They're chilling. Meanwhile, Semper, how are they looking?
They're looking exactly like they should. They're always locked in, ready to go. You said they didn't look like either team was really talking all too much. You've had so long to say everything that you need to. Everybody at home, I hope you are ready for this. Game number 7, Champions Field, driven by Ford. One of these teams is going through, and the other one, despite valiant efforts, is going home.
I mean, Achieves, you say that you don't want to see these two teams change things too much, and I completely agree, especially in the case of Semper. My biggest worry, I'm on my knees begging, thinking, please don't just try and defend against Dignitas for 5 minutes. Take this fight to them, and they've got every single chance here.
That's exactly what they managed to do in Game 6. And like I said, unfortunately, Dignitas really just did play a phenomenal defensive series. But you are definitely right. Do not let Dignitas come out here and set the pace, because you will be outmatched.
One thing that was good to see Dignitas do is not lose the confidence to go for a back pass. There's maybe requiring a little bit more effort than Dignitas were even expecting from that. A lot of demos being attempted, though, from Dignitas. They're landing after playing the ball and just headhunting for a brief moment. Let's see whether or not they can disrupt Semper.
I think it's actually a really good idea, to be honest, because Semper across the board has had an excellent challenge game. I mean, not many gaps at all. And if you can artificially create one through a demo, that's going to give Dignitas a lot more space to operate. And we all know how good Dignitas is with space.
That shot was definitely not with a weak of mind. Apparently Jack with Scrubkiller, with Jorius. Which option can he get to?
Whoa.
It's the Jorius! Look, top corner! Couldn't put it in!
Sure set though, just waiting down, but wait a minute, there's been a dunk. Cassio was in the goal. That could have been a horrible goal to concede if Cassio wasn't there. Maybe it still will be. There's a shot again off the crossbar. Jorius' finishing has been brilliant all season, and there's another example.
Well, Dignitas do come out, they do set the pace, and finally, Jorius, what a shot. I mean, not a lot to work with looking at it. There's 2 people, one on the right side, one coming up, edging off the goal line, and that inch forward gives him a lot more to work with at the top of the net. Nails it.
Yeah, options-wise, there was nothing to work with. Boost-wise, straight up 0 on 2 players. Semper ended up getting put through the mixer. Apparently Jack looks top corner. It's Dignitas that are well on top at the start of this Game 7.
Yeah, Semper completely boosted off there. There was another free shot in the air for a Dignitas player. There's a pass out wide. It's a little bit too wide, though. But Archie's pinch only goes as far as apparently Jack. Dignitas just slowly compressing these pincers together to squeeze the life out of Semper, who have to break free. Jorius to the ceiling. Apparently Jack beats Cassio. Cassio at least gets a touch out wide, but to me, this is looking more and more like Dignitas is to lose.
Long way to go. We got 3 minutes. Semper, here's their first opportunity to try and equalize some pressure, set themselves up, and see what they can manage.
Scrub has got the boost. He's got the chance. He's under pressure. The car held strong for him. Dignitas still hold on to their lead. Archie turns and shoots. Scrubkiller very much in position, exactly where he needs to be. Look confident coming into this, and I feel like a lot of Dignitas fans at home would have just had a sigh of relief after seeing the camera on Scrub. And he has looked just as relaxed on field as he has out of it. Jorius misses. Cassio didn't recognize it quick enough. Dignitas have had at least 70% of the hits on the ball so far.
Oh, wow, what a recovery. I mean, Archie right there, you see that kind of errant touch in the midfield, and to turn that back around with going backwards on the wall to stick another challenge and buy some time to get reset on defense, I mean, that's not something that you really go, ooh, that was amazing, but you don't realize how important it is unless it happens, you know what I mean?
What Dignitas are doing, though, is they're really making Semper have to rush in these defensive plays. They're making them look a little bit scattered, pulling them apart. You can see Jorius to the ceiling. Apparently Jack's there at the back post. Couldn't quite wrap his car around it.
Oh,
so
Archie, he's got it!
He can equalize! Oh, the counter-attack for Semper!
when you need him, he steps up. Archie, pixel perfect. And there was so many players around, but Scrub Killer just can't get there.
I was trying to figure out why he was up at the side of the pitch, and it's like maybe he was driving forward at just the wrong time to try and go for the midfield boost, but one way or the other, whatever reason, way too far forward, couldn't contend with a quick counter from Semper, and they equalized.
He was trying to kill the game there, which I don't hate, but there's another chance now for Archie. He can really get some damage here against this backboard. It's closed down so quickly by Scrub Killer, but look at the clearances now from Dignitas. Suddenly they're the ones who can only get one touch at a time. Cassio, he goes to the backboard.
Oh,
Here comes Sure Set! Sure Set gives Semper the lead!
We've waited to see what shot set we were gonna get, and it is the one that dominated DreamHacks and looks to be the difference maker in this Game 7. 1 minute and 12 seconds on the clock, and it is Semper in the driver's seat.
Jorius still can damage SMPR Esports if he gets control of the ball, but look how quickly they're closing him down. Scrub Killer takes out Archie. Again though, SMPR, they are just the best team at frustrating their opponents when they have this lead. How on earth did Dignitas break them down in the next 50 seconds?
They definitely have to push now, and you've seen a little bit of what they've been able to do late in the game when they need to score. They do tend to fall back on that mechanical prowess, see if they can find some outplays and capitalize on perhaps an opening.
Jorius ends up being hit by his teammate. He's got it over one. There's the two players, though. That's a double commit. An opportunity to try and set up, but apparently Jack couldn't make contact. And Archie takes it as far away from everybody in the orange as he possibly could. Now Chaucer over the top. Scrub Killer, he gets the stop. I think it was off the post. 20 seconds left. Archie wasting as much time as he can.
If only a sure set dribble would have been the difference between these two teams, it would have been beautiful, but still, we head to the last 10 seconds, unsure whether Dignitas can come back. A huge interception from Archie. 5 seconds now on the clock. Archie slows it down again. Whenever Semper have had the lead, he has just taken so much time off. Sure set, desperate to get that last touch, but Scrub keeps it up.
Cassio wants to see the ball down, and it clatters into him.
What a
Semper are through to the semi-finals, and you see what it means to them. Dignitas, despite sweeping the Swiss, are eliminated.
Is this the moment we start to believe in SMPR Esports? They never seem to get predicted. I mean, fair play, Scrub Killer's smiling. He knows it's been a great performance, less so from apparently Jack. Absolutely distraught for him, but he will be back so much stronger. But for now, it's SMPR Esports, just the desire they have shown here throughout that entire matchup. They just looked on it. They just looked the best we'd seen them play this season, maybe.
They definitely have looked phenomenal. I mean, that whole series tested on, especially in Game 7, if can you handle the pressure from Dignitas. They allowed one, they kept themselves in it, found one small gap, was able to turn that counterattack into a big goal for them, and capitalizing again to close it out. What a phenomenal series for Semper. The challenges, absolutely loved it. And I really do think the biggest part of their game, the shot placement, so much pressure applied to Dignitas no matter how far away it came from.
For so long, Cassio has been seen a player that can always grind his way into that top 5. As I mentioned at the start, he's done it plenty of times. But that performance right there, especially considering throughout, we never had the so-called Archie carry that we were waiting for. That is a performance that can win this whole thing. It was brilliant defending, timely attacking, and then the finishing was utterly perfect. Look at that from Chaucer.
Well, Shogun, is your bracket busted? I think everybody else is bracketed.
If anyone's got this bracket right now, I think we're only left with like the troll bracket right now in this. What a performance by Semper, and you saw the trust that they had in each other, always there to help each other out. But I hope you guys at home have enjoyed that. Guess what? That was only the first one. We've got 3 more quarterfinals coming very soon, including the one after this break, as BDS take on Complexity.